Back in the building is the whole crew. Got myself, DJ Metro, hanging out with Miss Rachel Parker.
Hey.
Also hanging out with Georgia's finest, Millie Mail, and as my man Sportsman Jones would say, Sue Young in the building. Jay Jones in the building.
Push the button.
What's going on, crew?
What's up, Metro?
What up, though?
What's up, family?
Here. What's left of my voice is here because somebody decided to catch the New Year bug that's going around. But you know what? It sat me down and it allowed me to have some peaceful time to reflect.
Yeah, you do sound old.
Oh, very wise.
You do sound old, sis. You over here like,
everybody
yeah,
just
Lord.
coming in with the jokes today.
Thank you, Lord,
Y'all
for
got
Sunday
jokes today.
dinner.
We got something for that. Okay.
Oh,
I had to get y'all back one time.
that's fine.
I like it.
Clean. Killing with kindness.
Nice and ashy.
Don't tell me ashy. That's extra rude.
It's a lie, y'all. It's a lie.
It's 2025 and you guys are starting it off with a bang already.
Already,
Right.
man. Already.
Welcome. I'm
Welcome
glad-
all.
Yes.
But it's all smiles.
Of
It
course.
is.
It's
It
all
is.
Of
smiles.
course,
So-
man. We can't do like the Breakfast Club. You know, they be smiling, then they be like, "Rrr."
Oh.
Like, nah,
Yeah.
we ain't trying to get like
Yeah.
that.
The shade.
Is
Any
we
goals
smiling
for
or is
anybody?
we frowning? Which one?
Right.
Anybody got New Year's goals?
Man.
Resolutions do not live in my house.
I like it.
Nah.
No, it's just do it. Whatever it is, just do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
I wrote mine down. They are in my
have
notes
some?
in my
Wow.
phone. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to them.
Okay. All right. That's
I like
it. Nobody else? No, I ain't got nothing.
I wrote them on my mirror. There's just like main points of things that I want to hit, some mindset keywords for resetting so I can see it every day. But definitely some destinations, but not a resolution. I'm good with where I'm at, and I just want to achieve more and improve.
I
I
like
like
it.
it.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that one. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
I'm glad you approve.
All right, you guys keep it locked right here as we get into some great topics and some great music, of course.
Here's what we know about the devastating attack in New Orleans on New Year's Day. A driver intentionally rammed a truck into a crowd celebrating on Bourbon Street, killing at least 15 people and injuring dozens. The FBI is investigating it as an act of terrorism, and the suspect is identified as 42-year-old Army veteran named Shamsud Din Jabbar. I also found out that he's actually a real estate agent as well. He was killed in a firefight with officers. Authorities found an ISIS flag in his vehicle and are reviewing video recordings of him where he claimed to have joined the group. So it happened near the French Quarter, just blocks from where the Sugar Bowl was scheduled. The game was postponed, as Sportsman Jones told us earlier, for safety reasons. And law enforcement is currently searching a home in Houston believed to be connected to the suspect. So did you guys hear about this?
Yeah.
I've heard a little bit about it, but shoot, that's crazy. ISIS?
First of all, thoughts and prayers to everybody that lost their lives or have been affected.
Yeah.
It's I think the count went up from 10. I don't know what it is right now, but I know a lot of people have been affected by this. So thoughts and prayers to everybody who has been affected by this senseless act.
It's very senseless. I question mark in my mind the ISIS flag and the induction in relation to that, because aren't they saying some sort of relation to that with the Las Vegas incident where the Cybertruck with the fireworks was parked in front of the Trump Hotel and exploded as well? And it seems like they're trying to say that they're isolated incidents, but also make those links that are very newsworthy or very, politically driven when you want to associate somebody to a group like that. So, I mean, I've unfortunately had to see the video with the New Orleans incident. And, you know, it's just a sense it's like no matter what group you belong to, no matter what race you're in, just that kind of motivation is sick to me.
And you're starting to see all of the conspiracy theorists break out and saying what they say. And then also the Cybertruck, that was, they said that he was also part of the military as well, but he did leave a note in that case saying that it wasn't a terrorist attack, is what he said.
Oh wow! So he was just, I guess.
I mean, what is
mad about something?
All a terrorist attack,
right?
Well, you know, to me, this is just my personal thought. When it comes to Americans going towards ISIS or terrorist groups or whatever, it's because that they didn't get something that they felt they should receive from their own government or country. You know what I mean? So you get a lot of military people that actually may get flipped, and somehow because these other groups promise them X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of them get flipped, you know?
Yeah, and I see that. And you heard about that, like in the past, Vietnam Wars, soldiers coming home, they're being, you know, pretty much annexed because of they went to war for some weird reason. Right. So
so they're not getting the what they think they deserve. You know what I mean? So the government's not doing anything for them, or whatever the case is. So they're upset, very upset. And so a terrorist group or whatever group comes by and say, hey, we can promise you this, you know, so forth and so on. Just take care of this for us in the name of,
right?
You know,
whatever.
Yeah.
So the thing accomplished though?
I'm sorry, you said what now?
Does that ever seem to get anything accomplished?
It actually doesn't.
Yeah.
To be honest, not
besides
for
fear.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the person that does it, they either get knocked off, they explode in the aftermath or whatever. They get caught, whatever the case is. They never get to enjoy what the group promised them. Let me just say it like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
The person who blew up the truck outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas is Matthew Leibelsberger, a 37-year-old Green Beret from Colorado Springs, Colorado. And he wrote in some notes that he left on his cell phone that he needed to cleanse his mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took. He served in the Army since 2006 and deployed twice to Afghanistan. In the note, it did say this was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives?
Dang.
I mean,
why yourself though?
Wrong.
What's the point?
I kind of get what he was getting at. I mean, in this country, and I can only speak for this country, but it seems like in the United States, as soon as something terrible happens, like these incidents, we start pointing the fingers at whose fault it was. Sure. Nobody ever really addresses, I think, the mental health issues of what's going on with these individuals coming back from, you know, maybe overseas or something like that. And serving in our armed forces. Nobody seems to want to really address that. They just want to point fingers at, oh, the left side is wrong, or no, this is the right side of the issue because they didn't do something, you know, they didn't enact this law or that law. Nobody really wants to address what the real issue is, I believe, and that's, you know, just mental health. But
yeah, I feel like in Metro, I don't know if that happens to you, but it's almost like, you know, you just being used just to be used. You know, I've heard military personnel tell me that.
Well, you know, they don't call it GI for nothing. It's, you know, government issue. So, you know, right. you're at their beck and call to do whatever needs to be done at that particular time and moment. You know, so if you look at it like that, yeah, then you're just a number, and you know it's like that, seriously. And then when you get out, you know, sometimes certain demographics have challenges in receiving all their benefits or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you have to fight. I mean, I can say it personally for my brother. My brother, we went in at the same time. He did a couple tours over there, and he had to get out on a medical because of some incidents over while he was overseas. But he had to fight for 5 years in order to get his full benefits, right? You know, I mean, he had his regular benefits, but for his disabling benefits that took him out of work and out of whatever he was trying to do in life,
Right.
it took him 5 years for the government to actually pay him, you know, for 5 years while he put the claim in, and then pay him for the rest of his life. But he had to fight for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's how a lot of people, you know, once they get out of service, if you will, you know, it's a lot of things that they have to go through, and sometimes the government will not honor their requests.
It's tough.
Yeah, that's real tough. It's crazy.
So you put your livelihood, your life on the line for this, and you come back and you really got to fight for the individuals you fought for.
All right, Jane, we were talking about the New Orleans incident that took place. Looks like an Alabama woman named Alexis Scott Windham was struck by a terrorist driving a truck on New Year's Day and later shot in the foot. And then her friends ended up calling her mother for help to see if they could help stop with the bleeding. So her mother was watching TV and she remembered that to create a tourniquet.
That's dope.
Good
That's
for
real
you right
dope.
there.
To create
Shout
a
out to
tourniquet.
Mom Dukes.
So one of her friends took off his socks and created a tourniquet and put it on the young lady's foot and tightened it up to stop the bleeding or to slow it down, sort of say. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
So she learned from it from TV. You know, crazy, but it's a life-saving thing. You know, it's like another thing you can use is a belt. You know, depending on,
Sure.
you know, like if it's in the leg, take your belt off, tighten that belt up. You know,
Yeah.
so I guess what I'm getting at is that, you know, you can learn a lot from watching TV and from listening to other people along with reading things, you know.
For sure.
Yeah,
Books
listen
are
and learn.
important.
Or
Yeah.
you can learn from TikTok too.
TikTok, that's your
TikTok,
jam, right?
TikTok.
I've learned a couple things on TikTok, you know, just like randomness, but yeah.
Man, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. TikTok be having the news, world news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do TikTok, but I'm a scholar of YouTube University. So
YouTube University. Oh,
yeah.
I gotta use that.
So the young lady potentially, I don't know if it was life-threatening, but she did save a lot of blood by having that tourniquet created for her, and she was eventually got to the hospital to get taken care of.
Yeah.
So she was hit by the Cybertruck and then shot.
Yeah,
Not the Cybertruck.
Yeah,
Just
the-
the regular. The truck in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, excuse me. It's
Those
just-
from the side.
you got a Cybertruck on your brain.
yeah, Cybertruck is on my head right now.
Cybertruck is
But that's crazy though. Like just get hit by a vehicle and then get shot.
then
All
get
in the
shot.
same day.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Sound like
Yeah,
a movie.
no.
it was.
That's a bad evening. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, and those items like tourniquets and everything, I mean, those are readily available for the general public. You can buy those off of Amazon. So those are some nice items just to have.
Oh yeah.
Cars and
Yeah.
everything like that. You never know what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, we do have to think like that. But I mean, you never know what type of artery or anything or what got hit when she got shot. And
Yeah, that's
for
true,
her
too.
mother to know that is pretty good information.
But being in a state of shock or panic, let me say it like that, you just never know what's gonna come to your brain in order to save somebody. You know, I'm sure you guys have all heard that a woman lifted up a car to save her child.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard
Yeah.
that?
Actually, I seen it twice.
Yeah. So you just never know where that strength is gonna come from or what's gonna come around.
Mel, where
Saw
are
it
you getting
twice.
Well, it
Don't laugh. I
was
see Rachel's face. Rachel's like, nah, family, you gotta explain
Georgia,
this.
like in Columbus, Georgia. This little kid got ran over by a Tahoe, and the mother literally pushed the back of the Tahoe off her child.
Okay.
Like it was crazy. Like I know about it because my father told me about it. Like
Yeah.
that's how I was a kid then. Like I was 13 when I first was told that. I was like, what? Yeah, so
I
it's
mean,
possible.
yeah, no.
It's very possible.
Yeah, adrenaline is a heck of a drug. It's got to do when you got to protect your little ones. So shout out to the moms,
Hell yeah.
lives, and paying attention to the CPR and first aids of the world.
For sure.
What up, everybody? Melly Mel's right here with you guys, man. Passing the mic over to me today because of some big time media information. Media runs the world, as we all know. But to hear about Rupert Murdoch, the tycoon media owner of course, Fox News, and of course the News Corporation Ltd, the founder of that, which is the largest media corporation in the world. So the argument is that Murdoch is now 93 years old. And he's about that time to sit down and pass on the legacy. But 10 years, I want to say 10, maybe 15 years prior to this situation that's going on now, he created a trust that gave all four of his children, all four oldest children, the right to vote on how the company is going to be, passed down, move around, and all that information. But prior to that, all of a sudden, he changed his mind. So now Murdoch is giving his oldest son, sorry if I butchered his name, Lachlan, the entire corporation. He can do whatever with it. And when that information came out, the other siblings just started going at him, asking the father why, what's going on. They don't believe that he's a good fit because of his conservative type of mindset. And on top of that, it's not about the money, but the power that one person will have to control pretty much the entire media outlet. Because if you guys don't know, Murdoch is also the owner of the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
So this brother is pretty genius. In fact, has a lot of connections, including with a lot of streaming platforms that a lot of people don't know that he also is attached to, not just news. But during this whole turmoil, the two youngest siblings don't want any part of it as far as running a corp company. They feel as if that their livelihood will be okay, which is right. Your dad is worth $22.5 billion, so you have nothing really to worry about. But as far as the four oldest children goes, it's just pretty much a power tug of war of who is going to run this corporation and what direction that they want to actually push Fox as a whole and the Wall Street Journal as in the direction of, is it going to be a conservative, or if it is it going to be a, as they call it, a left type of mindset of media? Is that what? Yeah, leftist mindset.
Leftist leaning.
Yeah, there it is. Leftist leaning. So, as in my opinion, I feel like it should be a board. Because of the arguments that's going on with all the siblings. It's like, okay, if you can't respect your father's wishes upon what he has created, I don't understand. And to top it all off, it's not like you need the money. Each one of his children is worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
So what type of ideas do you guys have in mind for the future of one of the largest media corporation in the world?
Yeah.
So
I think there's a lot, like we have to consider, what does that look like now? So just as a summary, like a sample of Murdoch's holdings, obviously Fox, that's televisions, news, business, sports, FX, Speak, My Network TV, 20th Century Fox. So that in itself is already its package. And then as you said, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, Dow Jones,
I forgot about Dow Jones.
Harper Collins, and then you're talking international with The Sun, Sky News, The Times in the United Kingdom, publications
Australia.
and Australia. So that is a huge portfolio of influence that really it's up to stake. But what have we seen from those outlets? Really just the same thing. So of course it makes sense that he has revised that former trust that he made. But the thing is it was an irrevocable trust. So what I have, by definition, irrevocable, not changeable.
Right.
And
yeah, because that was amended, right?
he's trying to amend
Yes,
it.
yes, he's trying to.
Court has actually sided with the kids that are protesting against him changing it because of those facts, and says there's some kind of bias and irregular influence. So we'll have to see, like who's really going to get the pie. Are they going to make a claim for something better for these networks, which it's going to be a fight, because it's going to be everything against what we have seen with this new, administrative change and the flow of traffic, as far as how everything has been going that way.
Yeah.
Get really tiptoe on this, guys. But I guess with the ratio right now, because the one son is the only one who's really mainly conservative, there might be some hope if the rest of the kids.
Yeah. I mean, Lackland, James, he voted for Kamala Harris. He's pushing the agenda for the Democrats. So it's like it's because of their political standpoints is what making this ripple within the company and the family. Because it's almost like if everybody agreed on the same idea, would it be this much of a turmoil amongst each other?
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it only a political thing, or is it operational as well?
That all ties in together.
Does the one person that he put in front of the company, he wants the one person to run it, is he more in line to run the entire portfolio, and the other ones are kind of just sitting back doing whatever? You know what I mean? Because if I got 3 kids, but one is really following my footsteps on how to run and operate the corporation, naturally he would be the one to take my place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm just wondering, has any of that been a part of the information as far as the news is concerned when it comes to that corporation and Murdoch?
Well, I got a little bit more information, but we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna pay some of these bills and just keep it locked.
So before the break, Mel, you were talking about Rupert Murdoch and his corporation and his kids, and how he was dividing up the company and how he wants it to go to one person instead of the entire kids, the entire
family
family
tree
unit. The family unit with the kids is concerned. But is it more of a political difference when it comes to why he wants one particular person to run the corporation, or is it because one person is more in line to run his whole portfolio of corporations versus the other children?
From the information I picked up, and just my opinion as well, is I feel like all 4 of his eldest have business degrees. They have some type of knowledge to run a corporation, so to speak. And then they've been around their father, who has been teaching them each, what he's been doing and so on and so forth. But with Lackland, it seems like he's just he's that child that literally followed course of his father. He was around him when, he did a couple of big business deals when he purchased the Wall Street Journal, and making deals with Fox and so on and so forth. But when I hear the other his other children, and then when I hear Lachlan when he spoke on the news, Lachlan seems like he has a better he knows what he's going for. He has a target. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to per se. He's not trying to continue the narrative of the what's been going on with Fox, as we all know, and the other kids are from what I'm hearing are like, well, it's been working, it's been making us revenue. We've been on the top because of this scale of business that we've been doing. So only thing that probably needs to change is probably certain operations or certain or business deals that we may want to purchase or expand the portfolio. So in my clear opinion, I feel like it's just of the mindset of he's afraid of how his legacy is going to turn about, just depicting on how his children move and what they're saying. And then going to court, making your father, fighting your father during court because you feel like you deserve a part of the company because you probably put some hours in, did some stuff with your dad, but your father is looking at, okay, I want this to last as long as it can, for however long as it can. Right. So his experience on top of what he knows, either he has told his children and they have not really absorbed information, or he's like, okay, so this is what it is. Thank you for actually keeping that that type of energy movement. We do need to start changing for the better, and keep it pushing. Yeah. So that's how I look at it.
I think that it's just more that Lachlan has mimicked more of the conservative ways, which that's going to demonstrate overall with how things have been run with his conglomerate of companies anyways, because all the kids are set to get money. It's not about money, but I mean, you can see what has more power than money in this world, and it's going to be media influence, and they want to control that narrative now. He obviously wants to have his stake in his legacy after he's gone.
Well, it's sought after, especially after what's going on with this administration that's coming in. We see media influence has swayed elections. It's interesting that, he has 6 kids, 2 don't want to be involved in this, but the 4 have a power, a juxtaposition of what's going on. You would think that he would want to continue, if it's not broke, don't break it, type of mentality. So handing it over to one of his kids that wants to keep it going that way seems to be more of an easier shift in transition and power than what it would be if he hands it to, let's say, the other kids and they want to maybe shift it in another area, shift it in another way. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion.
Agreed.
Sound like a good one.
So, hey guys, I want to turn the tables towards, fellow actor Denzel Washington. One day, hopefully, before he retires, we can still be in a film together or something.
There you go.
But I want to brag a little bit that the acclaimed actor and director has recently been honored with the Presidential Medal of Freedom awarded by Biden. Biden's doing his big ones when he leaves office. The Medal of Freedom is the highest civilian award in the United States. The prestigious accolade is bestowed upon individuals who have made exceptional contributions to the prosperity, values, security of the nation, world peace, or other significant societal endeavors, and he was recently awarded that. He recognized Denzel for his outstanding career in film and theater, of course, and as well as his philanthropical efforts and commitment to the arts overall. So shout out to Denzel.
All right. Oh, gee, got it.
He also just celebrated his 70th birthday.
Right.
Right.
I can't believe it.
He don't even look like he's 70.
Right. I mean,
doing pretty good.
Morgan Freeman is ageless,
Yeah. I wouldn't say ageless, but
Yeah.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman been old since I was introduced to him. So yeah, that's what.
what?
That's crazy.
Crazy.
He's had the same grays since back in the day. So
I know. Wow, he's been old since old. All right. that's the doer right there.
wild. That is wild.
Oh man, that's
But,
crazy.
you know, I think I got hooked on Denzel when I was like when I saw not Training Day. Everybody goes to Training
Everybody
Day.
goes. Yeah.
God, what was that movie? He was a soldier. Darn, I can't remember the movie.
Glory?
Was it Glory? I think Yep, Glory.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
been
Tear rolled down his eye.
Yes,
way
that was
down
such
his
a
line.
powerful moment. I remember watching that as a kid.
Man, that movie, like, I will always remember that movie. That was like the first time I ever seen Denzel. So I was like, damn. he's
So
cold.
for this award, Rachel, how many people were awarded?
Well, there were quite a list of recipients, which honestly, I'm gonna just read them off, and I had some shock to at least one or two of them. So, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, actor and activist Michael J. Fox, chef and humanitarian Jose Andres, Jane Goodall, singer Bono, fashion designer Ralph Lauren, science educator and my dad after school, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Love
Bill.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I
Shout
love
out.
that
My
for
man.
Bill, though. I do
Right.
love that for Bill.
Yes.
About time.
I think well deserved. Also, kind of shocker one for me was basketball legend from Michigan himself, Magic Johnson,
Yeah.
and Vogue editor in chief Anna Wintour.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Interesting.
I can see that.
So
Yeah.
they were all honored with their diverse contributions towards American culture and society. But let's get back to Denzel, because this has been quite a year for him. And not only, receiving this award, celebrating a 70th birthday, he's embarked on a profound personal journey, in my opinion. He was recently baptized. I don't know if you guys saw that, and received his minister's license at the Kelly Temple Church of God in Christ in Harlem, New York,
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
which that's a huge
Yeah,
milestone.
congratulations.
And that also allows him to officiate minor religious services and paves the way for future ordination.
What? Can you imagine having
Denzel?
him like marry you?
Exactly.
Like,
Like, can you
would
please
you pay
do it in your training day voice?
That's what I'm about to say.
I wouldn't be
That's
able to
great.
pay
He may
attention
not show up for that.
while officiating any ceremony of mine, but he had mentioned during that he was blessed to receive the prophecy that he received nearly 50 years ago, expressing gratitude for his faith and journey and support of his family. So he's just following along on his path. And then let's not forget, on the cinematic front, we still have yet to see Gladiator 2 to drop. So I just feel like this is
It's on Apple right now.
It's on Apple?
I
Oh,
seen it the other day. It's on Apple.
Dang. So you were just gonna bypass that part.
No, I seen it yesterday, literally. I think it
Oh,
just
you
happened.
just saw it. Oh,
I
okay,
just seen it
okay.
yesterday.
oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they just started promoting it on Apple.
Okay.
Good. I feel like there's a lot of specific details about his role that are like under wraps, but I am ready to see not only the sequel to an iconic film, but also to see Denzel star in it as well. So,
Right.
and just a big shout out for all of his multifaceted contributions to entertainment, society, and his personal faith journey.
For sure.
So let me get this straight. So you said Denzel got baptized, and then right after that, he had his ordination going on, right?
Right.
So he's an actual minister now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he was doing the work, but it seems like you would already have to be baptized and then start doing the work and then get your ordination. That's just the kind of progression I see.
You don't think God knew his heart the whole time?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know, your gift, if you will make room for you. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Your gift, you know, so is that a monetary gift that will make room for you to
You
put
trying to hit him with the honorary
I'm just
doctorate?
trying.
Right. Yeah.
Hit him with the honorary doctorate.
I'm just saying, you know, your gift will make room for you. Now, I've seen that in the churches. I have seen in the churches it's pay to play. You know what I mean?
Latin churches.
Yes, I've seen it. So I'm just wondering, you get baptized today, you're a minister tomorrow. You know what I mean? Is that the way it works?
What Steve Harvey say, the building fund? Everybody got the building fund?
I'm just saying, you know, and that's
same door
no,
been broke for 3 weeks.
that's no disrespect to Denzel. I'm just saying that's kind of a strange path to go baptized. Now you're a minister the next day.
I feel what you're saying. Because you would.
Sure,
you
it
would
wasn't
think
just
that
like a wake up. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The shade.
No shade, y'all.
And welcome back, Sportsman Jones here, and I'm excited, yo. I'm excited.
What are you excited for?
Excited.
It's music.
We got something shaking over in Detroit.
No
Uh-oh.
shoot.
What's shaking?
Detroit basketball.
What up, though?
Yeah. So the Detroit Pistons are on fire, winning 6 of their last 7 games. Yeah.
Okay.
They beat some teams too.
Wow.
They beat some teams. It ain't bad. Capped off by a commanding 119-105 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. My man Cade Cunningham led the way with a season high 40 points and 9 assists. Cade's been balling. He needs to be an all-star. I think he's gonna be an all-star this year. Unfortunately, they lost Ivy for an extended amount of time, but the team's been playing really well. Cade took over the game when it mattered, and he outdueled Ant Edwards, even though Edwards dropped a 53-point burger on us.
Jeez.
Yeah, Ant was going crazy.
Right. 53 points.
Ant was going absolutely crazy. But in the end, the Pistons won. Yeah. So like I said, they won 6 of the last 7 games. And now they're just, I think they're just 1 game shy of 500, which in the East is still in playoff contention. So, you know, it's looking good. I think right now is a pretty good, Detroit is having a little sports renaissance after a couple years of, you know, being down with all 4 teams. Have been
Hey, not too much.
Wait a minute.
Ease up now.
Hey, the truth is the truth.
Man.
Not too much, though. Not too much.
Yeah, I can't. So Lions fans are you guys are
Get that.
rejoicing?
Tell
right
like
now.
it is, bro.
Yeah, y'all rejoicing.
It's
So
fine.
it's cool. It's
It's
fine.
It's
Yeah, I
fine.
mean they did take out San Francisco like it was nothing.
Ooh.
So
I mean, so did a bunch of other
I'm going to the
people.
Lions. I'm going to the
Lions.
They did
But
too.
I'm just saying, compared to the prior year when they got lucky, which was a good catch, you know, I'll give them that.
It was a good catch. But I mean, well, last year I think Detroit. I mean, especially it being like the first playoff berth in a very, very, very long, very, 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 very.
Okay.
very,
We
very
got you.
Got it.
You know, they were up in the game. I think they kind of played. They played more not to lose than to win. In San Fran came back, but I mean, between the Lions, the Pistons, the Red Wings had a decent. I mean, the NHL season's going on right now. But last year,
And the Tigers.
I was about to get to that.
Oh,
And the Tigers as well. You know, the Tigers, you know, they made the playoffs as well. So, you know, Detroit is kind of moving and grooving a little bit. They got a lot of young up and coming talent on all 4 teams. So we'll see what's going on. But you know, this is good. You know, if anybody hasn't been to a Detroit Pistons game, I highly recommend going. Little Caesars Arena is an amazing spot. You'll have a great time.
Yeah, please. I think we would definitely all enjoy going to a game together because we definitely enjoy our time when we go and see the Pistons. So.
For sure. Every time we go, we have a great time, and it's usually a really good game. But you know, that's we got some things shaking in Detroit.
Go. What up? Nope.
Right.
It's just crazy, man. It's about time. Shoot. Ew.
I mean,
Like 15, 20 years.
Don't say nothing. We're about to cut this last segment before you started throwing the shade.
Yeah, no,
We
gonna
was
cut
about to
this
end.
I
short.
like that.
We just
stop.
Yeah, we gonna leave on a high.
Shout out to the Pistons. Shout out to Cade, to JB Bickerstaff, the new head coach out there.
Oh yeah,
changing-
congratulations
changing the
too.
system. Yeah, you know, it's amazing what a coaching change could do for a young team. So it looks like JB got them boys on the right track, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Super Bowl, here we come.
Nah. We're back. Shout out to Derrick Rose. My man D Rose got his jersey retired by the Chicago Bulls yesterday. It's actually 1/4/25. And it's kind of cool because essentially those were his jersey numbers. So for Chicago, he was number 1. They played the Knicks in his jersey retirement game, and he wore number 4 for the Knicks. And then, of course, Simeon, the high school he went to in Chicago, he was 25. So shout out to D Rose. He said it was a celebration of everybody, especially in the city. He was one of my favorite players of all time, and you know he came out to MVP chants. You know he had a pseudo like celebrity game, and his son was in there with him. He played the game with his son. So you know Derrick Rose had a pretty good weekend, capped it off by a jersey retirement. So I just want to say shout out to D Rose.
Congratulations to D
That's what's
Rose.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that it ended on 1/4/25.
Yeah,
And all of those numbers had some significance to it.
for sure. Yeah, no, he's I mean, just outside of him being a dynamic player and everything, unfortunately his career was kind of not short-lived, but it was hampered by injury. But I mean, he was the youngest MVP of all time, so you can't take that away from him.
I was about to say, man.
Yeah.
You can't put nobody else in front of D Rose as far as like speed.
He's
He's
22.
one of the fastest dribblers in the league. Well, was like
Just the fastest players of all, you know.
real.
He was 22 years old when he won that MVP. He took the record for the Bulls that season was 62-20. He averaged 25-8. So yeah, no, he made some pretty deep playoff runs as well. So shout out to D Rose. But I do got a question for you guys.
What's the question?
This is interesting. So I was listening to a podcast. I'm not going to mention the podcast where I heard it from, but this is a question I wanted to pose to you guys. You got to pay attention because it's one of those things that you got to think about. So you have to choose one. You have to choose one of these.
Have to.
Option 1 is for the men, fight Mike Tyson. For the women, fight Amanda Nunes. The bout is 10 rounds. For each round you survive, you get $20 million. But if you get knocked out, you have to serve a 10-year prison sentence.
What?
Okay,
These odds
start
are
that over. So I gotta
Option
last.
1.
So you gotta have the whole 10 rounds.
Hey, whatever you last, you get some bread. But if you get knocked out, you got to serve 10. That's option 1.
Okay.
So
this is-
option 2 option 2 is a little safer for your physical, but may not be for your mental. You have to guard Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark for a 48-minute game. Every 3 they make, you do 2 years in prison. But every 3 they miss, you get $10 million. Which one
Can
you
we
choose?
just cancel my prison time when they miss?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go Tyson. Just
Yeah.
I'm just-
So stupid.
But you're taking the chance of getting knocked out.
that's okay, but that's 10
fine.
years.
That's
10.
10.
Years. Now, for every 3 that they miss, you said it's 2 years.
It's 2. It's 2
Guaranteed.
for every 3 that he makes. You have to serve 2 years. But every
Every
3 that he
day.
misses,
Mhm.
you get $10 million per miss.
So I'm gonna set up my.
He's averaging like 6 or 7 made threes a game.
I'm straight. Give me Tyson.
Give me Tyson. I'm taking Tyson.
I'm gonna fight.
You taking Tyson?
Here's why: because more than likely I can at least last. I honestly, yes, crouching, the running away stuff. I can last through some rounds. And I
so
can
the women would the women wouldn't fight Tyson because I wanted to make it.
You said Nunes, right?
Yeah, Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if everybody knows who Amanda Nunes is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She's in the UFC. She pretty much she pretty much took Ronda Rousey out of the UFC after her beatdown that she put on Ronda Rousey.
She was lumped.
Look,
But
Cyborg?
I'm long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me
Okay,
Tyson.
so
I'll
10
run
rounds.
around.
How
Hey.
long are the rounds?
3-minute rounds.
3
At
minutes.
20 mil per round, yeah, sign me up. I'm gonna last.
20 mil per round.
I'm gonna be ugly.
So even if you last one round,
Take my money for the reconstructive surgery from the
I'm
spinal.
sorry.
you're gonna be like Martin after Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight no more.
I want to fight no more shit. Shit, I want to fight no more.
All right. Okay. So, Rachel, you gonna fight Amanda Nunes. Doug, you're fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I can run around the ring.
All right. And Mel, what you doing?
Oh, I'm Tyson down.
You Tyson down?
I'm
Okay.
Tyson down to the jock strap.
No, not that. Why, bro? Why?
I want to say something so bad right now. But I'm not gonna.
Gonna have that booty meat out.
Why? Hey, relax. Because
That's what I
Tyson
meant.
had the yams out. That was disrespectful.
Bro.
Damn.
Okay, so who are you choosing? Soo Young?
You know, that's a good one because
Because you're
10
going up
rounds.
against Caitlin Clark shooting from the logo too.
Right.
Yeah. But I feel like that's 48 minutes,
48 minutes.
and she can shoot. Amanda Nunes, I don't know.
You
I
think she'll
feel.
make 5 threes in 48 minutes?
Here's the thing. I don't want to go to prison, but I don't want to get knocked out either. You know, like, that's 3 minutes of some physicality. I'm gonna go with Caitlin Clark because I feel like my defense is
Okay.
pretty good.
Okay.
Oh nah. Okay.
Ooh wee.
Oh,
Okay.
nah.
Okay.
That's less physical, and it's 48 minutes of basketball. Like I used to.
So I
hoop.
will say in these
I used to hoop.
scenarios, they don't know what you would receive. So Caitlin Clark, Steph Curry, they don't know if they keep hitting threes that you're gonna go to jail for longer. If they keep missing threes that you're gonna get some bread. But
I'm be holding that defense, yo.
me personally, I'm probably gonna go with Mike Tyson because I mean, if you can survive even 2 rounds and come out of jail, you know, with 40 mil after a 10-year prison bid. I mean, if you got to choose those options, I'm choosing that one.
Well, that's a great question.
So the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development has awarded millions in grants to address health and safety hazards in West Michigan homes. On Friday, HUD announced over $16 million in grants statewide, including $1.5 million grants for Muskegon and $1.75 million grants for Community Action of South Central Michigan in Battle Creek. Muskegon plans to improve 150 units for low-income families, according to project descriptions released by HUD. Community Action aims to assist 176 units across multiple counties.
Wow.
Wow.
There's that many health and hazards that we gotta take care of.
Right.
Yes, I would say yes. Yes, you know, I've seen some, I would call them dilapidated, yes.
Right.
I've seen some of those houses, and people are residing in them. And that's right here in the neighborhood. You know, so I'm sure this money would, you know, bring about great improvement to some of these homes and get them up to code and up to par, if you will.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
would definitely help out the residences of Muskegon and South Central, like Battle Creek area.
Battle Creek area. Yep. So with that community action, community action is a nonprofit organization that assists with homes. Let's say wintertime, they will help with insulation in homes. They also help with utilities and things of that nature, and they would also even help in payment of rent.
Oh, really? On like back rent.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we have something like that here in Grand Rapids as well. It's called Home Repair Services, and they help out with homes, not necessarily like the dilapidated homes, but to make sure that home ownership is that they can continue to stay in their home.
Gotcha.
And they teach classes on like how to do tiling, light electrical, how to hang cabinets, and update your current home so that you can do all of those things at a lower cost. So I think that's a great grant for the city of Muskegon and Battle Creek for those neighborhoods that are really in need of it, fixing up those older homes.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're in any one of those communities, go ahead and check out the Community Action Network, and you can find assistance for your particular home.
So we were just talking about Michigan and the housing needs and things like that, but there are some big changes that are coming to Michigan's rental market, and it's all about fairness and access to housing. A new law signed by Big Rich bans landlords with 5 or more units from discriminating against renters based on their source of income, like housing vouchers or Social Security. This legislation aims to help thousands of families secure stable housing, addressing the critical issue in the state's affordable housing crisis. So, Governor Whitmer signed 3 Senate bills into law on December 30th, banning landlords with 5 or more units from rejecting tenants based on income sources such as Section 8 housing, vouchers, veterans benefits, or Social Security. So these laws, which define source of income under Michigan's Civil Rights Act, allow tenants to sue or file complaints if denied housing for those reasons.
Okay.
Now, so
a lot of perspective for that.
So Rachel has been in the real estate industry as well as on the property management side, but understanding that this actually happens, I don't think we see this as much in the bigger companies, like the bigger rental units of like 100 or more. I don't feel like they discriminate against of where the income comes from. I'm just curious on how they are going to regulate that when it comes to the amount of income. Even though it comes from Social Security, like I feel like there's a fine line there. There's some, you have to make a certain amount to be able to afford rent. But that also comes with like Social Security isn't that high. So making 3 times the rent could.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that people look at also is, like you said, the amount that you make, because you have to make at least 2 times, 3 times the amount of rent to afford it. Because if you're giving all your money to you only make $700, $800, and that's your whole rent, then you can't live.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is a good step forward into being discriminated against because of where their money comes from. But I think there's more that we're going to have to look into in order to create affordable housing for everybody, because Social Security benefits, I know from experience in helping my parents, it's not a lot. And we're seeing we're seeing our parents age, they're aging out and they're not able to afford just renting.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a Social Security more than 930 something.
Yeah.
The highest. It's generally between 600 and something to 9.
Right. Okay.
I think I've seen a little bit more. It just depends on the reason for you having it. But so just some curiosities, especially on the business side. Well, firstly, I guess they're saying the discrimination of the source, but you can still have the stipulation that there's a requirement of monthly income that they want to see, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, I mean, I feel like that's kind of still a way to step around it, especially, the numbers you were talking about, Doug. But then I would say, as a private landlord personally, one, Social Security, I'm all for it. That's guaranteed income. But secondly, though, my question lies with accepting Section 8, because if I'm not a landlord that regularly participates in it, which they have their own stipulations for landlords to comply with, how can I not, unbiasedly discriminate if I don't want to accept it by not participating in the program?
I don't think you necessarily have to participate. You can't discriminate, but you can have a roundabout way of.
Well, how do I not do both? How do I accept their money without
any stipulations?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not. Maybe I'm saying it. Maybe I'm saying that you don't have to accept a Section 8 or Social Security, but you have to at least take their application. You can discount them via credit score, evictions, things of that nature.
But they're going to have to do the same thing for everybody, right?
Right. So you have to keep
big companies have, so being treated fairly. I've learned in the property management side is that we treat everybody the same. So when you take an application, you're looking at, hey, you need to provide us with this proof of income. It's based off of your credit score has to be this, and you can't have any, prior evictions. So with what Rach is saying, as far as accepting Section 8 housing as a part of your income, though, so they're looking at Section 8 housing as a source of income. So if Section 8 pays $1,200 towards their rent, we're now accepting that as their source of income.
Yeah, Jane, I think that's a really good question. We'll have to expand on that more after our next break. So guys, before the last break, we were discussing the new laws that Big Gretch has passed, ideally to help populations with housing. And Jane, you were just kind of expanding on my last question because I was talking from a landlord's perspective of accepting Section 8 as income. Is that kind of what this law is pertaining to?
I think they're trying to protect families who do use, their Section 8 for housing, those benefits of Section 8, and then Social Security. For landlords, looking at, there are some biases that some private landlords, they will look and say, no, I don't want to accept somebody who has Section 8. I don't want to deal with that because there's this stereotype on, people who receive these benefits of Section 8 and saying that, they're not responsible tenants, they don't take care of the property, and there's this stigma and this stereotype that comes with it. And I think that's what they're trying to cut out. But also, that's additional income for the person who receives those Section 8 benefits. So they'll receive Section 8 benefits, which pay for the amount of rent, but they also will have some other sort of income too. Mm-hmm. And that will go towards, I would imagine, paying the utilities of that. So
is that saying that the property owner has to accept Section 8? Is that
They
what
don't
it's saying?
they don't have to accept Section 8, but they can't discriminate against that as a source of their income.
Okay.
So they have to say like, okay, you have to provide us with your source of income.
Right.
And then they now have to accept this Section 8 voucher as a part of their income.
Okay. Yeah.
Is what they're looking at. So
Is there
being
any
able to participate in that Section 8 program, though, landlords do have to do certain things.
Okay, that's what I was about
You know,
to
they have to pass all of these inspections before somebody can actually move in.
Inspection, there's lease addendums. Basically, there's just like a lot more governing over your own personal lease. And that's why
Yep.
people choose, amongst the stigma, not to participate. But I think that it's probably, something that we've been versed in from our prior, history, that we would utilize Section 8 in the category of income, additional income, not necessarily accepting it. So you still kind of,
A workaround.
yeah, you have your workaround. So I guess it's going to be a fine line of really the proof of saying that somebody was discriminated against specifically because of that income, if they're going to use a different requirement that somebody didn't make to disqualify them.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're just going to use something else where you have an eviction or your credit doesn't meet it. And that I think is just more so like we still got to fight for that, to make, this housing more affordable for people. But so, yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of bills that still need to be passed to be able to help people who receive Social Security benefits and Section 8, so that we can all be able to house it. So they're saying that this law is a step towards addressing Michigan's housing crisis, potentially benefiting over 34,000 families. There's similar laws that exist in 18 other states and several Michigan cities. It comes from groups like the Michigan Chamber of Commerce, other housing reforms like expunging eviction records and tenant unions failed to pass during the recent legislative session. So there's always people fighting for the rights of tenants. So we'll continue to watch that and see what legislation is going to be passed next and how it's going to benefit Michigan residents.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't mean to take more time on this, but honestly, just opinion-wise, I feel like, yes, by all means, I don't want to diminish any power that something like this has, but as a person that is a common person in this world, and let alone this state, the big hitting things are the prices of rent. What people are getting paid as wages. We were kind of side discussing the new minimum wage laws, and Michigan is only going up to what?
$10.56. I think is what.
Michigan is going to 10.56. Yeah.
10.56. What is that paying for?
They don't pay diapers.
So my rent is still $3,000 for a studio, but I'm working this job, and it might be a decent job, because let's not just shy away that minimum wage doesn't only apply to like fast food or grocery work or anything like that. It could be a substantial position that you're holding and you're not being able to afford it. So I think that just overall the message needs to be, we need to fight harder in the direction that is actually going to affect people's pockets now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely agree with that, Rachel. Like I've seen like in my job search as of, even recently within the year or two, if you're looking at jobs, if you just go on Indeed and you just see like these entry level positions, they are paying $12 and $13 to be an administrative assistant. And I was just like mind blown by that. I was like, you're only paying $12, $13 for an admin?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Or like a receptionist. And I was like, that's the face of your company. How, and I just think that increasing the minimum wage is just a step, and we still need to fight harder for better wages.
Right.
Agreed. What up, y'all? Real quick, man, I want to give out some great information that I want you guys to actually look up on yourselves dealing with Donald Trump and his inauguration is coming up. Mike Johnson just recently won the House Speaker of the House, and the policies you want to speak, sort of say that they were trying to push out, of course, tax policy and border and energy sufficiency. I advise all Americans, all of us, go read these policies. How can I put this? They will give you honey and then serve you vinegar right after. It's extremely fast. These policies are, of course, one-sided, but they do have some merit in them if our public figures will actually work together. But hopefully Mike Johnson will pick the policy that's worked best that we need right now, in my opinion, which would be the tax policy. We deal with the border and whatever later. You know, everybody's not from here any darn way. But please go out and check out the tax policy, man. This is our money. It's amazing what's going on. But as far as everything goes, man, we enjoyed this show. I enjoyed this show. There's been a lot of great information, a lot of scary information today for me, but overall, I feel like we actually hit a lot of great topics. And of course, shout out to one of my favorite actors, Denzel Washington, man. I can't believe that he got that big time award. And of course,
Rach just got snubbed.
Right. I had to get the goat out first, sis. Hey. And of course, sis, pretty soon.
Has to translate. So the new pedestal.
Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman will be hitting you up for a great scene coming up, either action or drama. You know what I mean?
I really want to do a comedy, but
or you might get baptized by Denzel. You know, one or the other. Whichever one comes first.
At my wedding, that will be in the future someday. But I do wanted to say real quick, Mel, thank you for bringing us that news and keeping us up to date with everything in politics, because honestly, politics is as juicy of a subject that it is. It does get pretty boring to sit and research and try to know what's going on, especially with everything that's been happening lately.
Yeah.
So appreciate that.
Welcome.
Yeah. I think we had a good time. We had a lot to talk about this time, guys.
True.
Yeah, we
What's
had
your
some
favorite, Metro?
definitely had some heavy topics that we touched on today, but some nice lighthearted things.
Good with me.
All right. So everybody, you already know what we're going to give you. Stay hungry for more.
Ooh, chicken wings and fried rice.
Combo number 24 with an
Egg roll.
Ew.